Hi, hello and welcome to yet another Expat. This is episode 69. No jokes on that. I'll go straight to the point. Have you ever used a Bolt car? B-O-L-T. The equivalent of Uber, but for poor people. Whenever I use it in Berlin, I feel... How do I say this? Every Bolt driver drives like a maniac, okay? Every single person. I don't know if I'm going to make it. I don't know if this is the time I die. It really saturates what a 5-star review looks like. Because the first time I took a Bolt, I thought, oh my God, this driver is crazy. I'm going to report it. But it's the normality. I give 5 stars if the person is not trying to kill me. That's it. I don't need anything more. I didn't die. 5 stars. You can have them. I think every single Bolt driver thinks that they are in these movies, like when you enter a taxi and you say, we need to stop this wedding, or I don't know, I'm losing my flight, my wife is having a baby, whatever it is, and then you just wish that the taxi will just go like crazy. They go like that every single time for no reason. As a child, I could play with my Game Boy for 3 hours straight in the car without getting seasick. I cannot type one single message when I'm in a Bolt in Berlin. It's nice in a way because I feel like the main character, I feel like I'm playing in a movie, but it's just too much. And they have all this stupid pricing now if you order a Bolt or an Uber or whatever, if you want it to arrive now, if you want it to be super duper extra late, if you want it to arrive fast, if you want it to be more eco, and it's just bloated with 10, 15 different options. Here's a proposal. How about you put an option where I arrive safe, where the driver is not driving like a maniac? I would pay a couple of euros more just to know that I can breathe in the car instead of holding for my dear life. So give me that option, or give the driver driving like a maniac as another option, but we need to differentiate that, okay? I want a driver who doesn't drive like John Wick or Jason Statham. I just want normality. Why can't I have some normality? I started off strong. I'll try to keep it fast and speedy so you don't need to put me on 1.5 like I know you do. This is a podcast of random news, stories, thoughts, and all in between. Now, drones have been flying over Poland and everyone is pooping their pants, including me living in Berlin. Berlin was, half Russian at some point. And just today, Romania also had drones flying over. So let's see where that goes. I have to say one thing. I was at work last week and suddenly everyone's phones went off. They started doing this crazy alarm sound. If you've heard it, it is probably the loudest sound phone can make. So all of them in unity made a really nice panic feeling together with the sirens of the city. It turned out that it was just a drill. Just a test. No stress. Nothing to worry about. We're just dusting off our systems. But here's the thing. Every single phone rang in the office besides my phone. Why did my phone not ring? I don't understand. I have a German SIM card. I bought my phone. Actually, I think I bought it even in Germany. I ordered it from Google for Christ's sake. And my phone didn't ring. You know what this means, right? It means I'm doomed. If anything happens, I will never know. I'm also deaf from one ear. I don't think I can hear always the sirens outside of a building. For all I know, it could be happening right now. The drones could be here. I wouldn't know. Let's dive into this podcast fast before it's too late. Now, number one, you've probably heard about eating candy, eating sugar, and then you get this burst of energy, right? The sugar rush. Apparently, science says that is a myth. It's a myth. They did a comprehensive study, 31 studies actually, with 1.2 thousand participants, And basically, they found no positive effect of carbohydrate, including sugar, on mood or energy levels. In fact, the carbohydrate ingestion is associated with increased fatigue and the decreased alertness within the first hour post-consumption. In normal words, this means there is no sugar rush, but actually the sugar crash is very real. So the sugar high is a lie and the sugar crash is real. What an unfair thing. And this misconception comes from the fact that you get pleasurable sensations with sugar. So if you consume sugar, it stimulates the release of dopamine and opioids in your brain. And these chemicals are associated with pleasure and reward, so they can mimic a bit the feeling of a rush. But actually, there is no increase in your energy levels. No increase. It's all just a sugary trick in your head. But the bad news, what comes after, the sugar crash, that's real. Your blood sugar levels spike and then they decline. And that does bring your energy down. It makes you tired. It gives you irritability, difficulty concentrating. So there it is. The world is unjust in many ways, but here's a tiny one. So if you hear anyone talking about getting their sugar high, I'm sorry, but that's not happening. I'm sorry, Harry Styles, the watermelon sugar high, it's just not happening. Now on things that have been happening, and I will have a quickie for Berlin in the end with all the headlines of the week. Wow, amazing. So stay tuned for that. You probably saw the crazy things happening in Nepal. Nepal made history in a pretty unexpected way. So they had these massive protests with young people and Gen Z, and it was over corruption, nepotism, and then there was a social media ban. And that made people even more bananas. They went on the street, they burned everything, they destroyed everything, and the government was overthrown. You've probably read or heard about some very violent activities that happened. But the bottom line is they overthrew the government with this mass protest. And then in a very weird, this is what I want to bring. I know that there's a lot on the topic, but the protesters, all these Gen Z young people, they used Discord, the popular chat application that they use for gaming, that's Discord, to vote for their new interim prime minister. How crazy is that? Sushila Karki, she was a former chief of justice and she had a very strong anti-corruption stance and she helped overthrow the monarchy in the 90s, I think. So people voted over Discord for her to become the new prime minister, and that appointment was confirmed. It was confirmed by the president and the army chief. So this is a first. Is it GG well played? We will see. But voting for your new representatives over Discord is one thing. And you can never know who's a good representative or not. People are so corrupt. Wouldn't there be a way that you don't have to have a person in power, that they are driven by all these weaknesses of ego, of power, of greed? If there was an impartial AI, I think I would consider it for running some stuff. I don't think we're there yet, and maybe we never go because of the bias and all of that. However, one country appointed the world's first AI minister on a piece of news that's probably more for the hype than it is for reality. But here we are, and this is the hype. So, in case you didn't know, now you know, Albania has made history by naming Diela, an artificial intelligence, as the country's new digital minister in charge of public procurement. It's one of the sectors that are most prone to corruption. Procurement is when you look into offers in order to make something happen. You want to build a road, people put applications, the companies, the construction companies, and theoretically through procurement, you check the different offers and you choose what's the best for the state. This is where a lot of bribe money go in. So Diela, which sounds very close to Della, who had an amazing, if you don't know, Della is a goat I took care of. This is a sidetrack, but Della is the goat I took care of. There's an episode titled I Have a Goat Now, and she has had portraits made for her. She spent the summer in our summer house for 3 years now. She comes every summer, so my dad has milk, and he walks her around and makes boomer videos on Facebook about it. But then there was an artist that visited the summer house and painted many portraits of Della, the goat, and now she is exhibited in some places. But that's just a sidetrack because this AI has a very similar name. But those who are wondering, or the old listeners of this podcast, Della is doing great. She had one more season this summer, and she's back to my dad's brother who has all the goats. But back to the AI, Della, that's ruling Albania. What is she doing? Well, she is actually going to check all of the contracts that are there. It almost sounds like the work that Elon Musk's silly Dodge tried to do, canceling all sorts of useful things by accident because they were using keywords. But she will monitor the government contracts, analyze data, and flag irregularities in real time. Why this matters? Well, the Albanian Prime Minister, Edi Rama, said she cannot be bribed, has no political loyalties, and applies the same rules to everyone, which is a step towards rebuilding public trust. That's a funky one. I mean, experts are actually warning AI can reflect a lot of biases. It can be tricked by flawed data. And it's unclear what happens if Della makes mistakes or blocks some legitimate contracts. One thing is for sure, this looks like an interesting move to fight corruption, perhaps an inspiration for other countries, but the critics are urging caution about the actual accountability and democratic oversight. You cannot hold Della accountable, right? You cannot bring her to justice if she accidentally just deletes all the contracts or someone tries to prompt engineer. Maybe I try to become a contractor for Albania, see if I can make Della like me enough. But that's one piece of news. Albania is experimenting with AI in government and definitely makes headlines. Maybe it's useful, but it also comes with serious risks. So there's Nepal, there's Albania, there's the drones. How is Greece doing? Well, we almost had a good moment on Eurobasket. The basketball team went all the way to the semifinals and then played with Turkey. And this is where everyone got super duper hyped. But Giannis Antetokounmpo couldn't make it all on his own. The team lost, and now I'm walking the streets of Hermannstrasse, buying my kebabs with my head looking down to the ground. But we will play for third or fourth position with Finland, I think. And it will be Germany that fights Turkey to the final, if I'm not mistaken. So in one way or another, it all stays within home. Someone who is Greek living in Berlin, but being in the district of South Neukölln. It's whoever wins, I will see the celebrations. Let's just say it like that. But let's zoom away. Let's zoom far away and do a space news. There is a weird thing called 3I Atlas. It's a big comet. It's coming towards us. And it's the third object ever detected that's coming from outside our solar system. So it already makes it a rare visitor. Okay? But the more scientists look into that giant comet, the more strange it gets. I'll tell you all the things that are unusual about it. There are crazy UFO people saying that it's a spaceship that's coming to see us, and there are all sorts of conspiracy theories. I'll just tell you why this comet is unusual and why all of the big telescopes are looking at it right now. Like the NASA Hubble telescope is looking at it, the James Webb is looking at it, the Sphere X, the TSS, they're all looking at it, studying, trying to figure out what it is. Why is that? It's because it looks like a comet. I also said it's a comet, but it's not really a comet. Because comets are like icy balls because of the freeze in space and they release gas and dust as they get close to the sun. And that's why they form a tail, the tail of the comet. But this Atlas comet is acting differently. So the cloud of gas and dust that it has around it, which is called coma, so stay with this, a comet has a coma, which is this cloud of gas. It is unusual because it has a high amount of carbon dioxide, and it has the highest amount of carbon dioxide that they have ever seen. Now, the second thing that's weird about it is that it was already active very far from the sun, past Jupiter's orbit, shining enough so the telescopes can pick it up.
This is AI Irmis to help understand this bit. When astronomers say a comet is active, they mean that the comet is currently releasing gas and dust, forming a coma and often a tail. This activity happens because as the comet approaches the sun, its icy nucleus warms up. Now in this comet, it appears to be active, having a coma and a tail, but it's very far away from sun to be causing that. So the question is, how is that comet having a tail if the sun can't reach it yet?
But that was, it shouldn't be so bright. It's so far away, if that makes sense. It was too bright. That's why they picked it up. And they're like, what is this? Most comets are frozen that far out. And then Hubble started looking at it, and it looks like it has a teardrop-shaped cocoon of dust. The TESS telescope was the one that showed that it has been shining and has been active many months before the discovery, which somehow means that it was, acting in a way that's not expected out there in the outer space. Because of all of this, some scientists are jokingly wondering if it could be a probe from an alien civilization entering our solar system coming to say hi. Maybe they're trying to stop World War III from happening. Maybe the aliens are sending in some support. I'm sure we'll shoot it down. But even if it's not, and it's probably not, it's a cosmic mystery, and astronomers are very excited, and they'll probably keep studying it for years because it's made of rare things and does unexpected things. The bottom line, this visitor from another star is weird, surprising, and could rewrite what we think we know about comets. How are we doing with time? Okay, we're good. So now I will do a quickie for Berlin. What happened in Berlin last week? I'm subscribed now to multiple newsletters, so I can tell you a little bit of the headlines, because why not? And if you're not from Berlin, you can still listen what happens to Berlin, get the vibe. Let's start. A car explosion. Yay! It happened in Schöneberg, and apparently they tried to kill someone by making that car explode. They've started looking for an attempted murder investigation. I thought things did kaboom only in our side of Berlin, not in Schöneberg, where it's expected to be more quiet. There it goes. Now today there is a Gaza demonstration at Brandenburg Gate. About 15,000 protesters are expected for a Gaza rally, and it's a coordinated setup around the Berlin Marathon. It's multiple peace and anti-war protests and more are happening across the city. Let's see how police responds to that, because it's been very rarely peaceful, and there are more and more reports and videos coming online with excessive police force and brutality and a lot of violence towards peaceful protesters, including women and children. But in a more uplifting tone, on the 23rd, 24th, I need to check, it's that weekend, there is my favorite event in Berlin that I have never seen in person. I keep telling you about it every year, and something happens every year and I miss it, including this year, because the husband of my partner's cousin is having a secret party thrown at him for getting his German citizenship. So there's going to be a Kartoffel festival, and I need to think of German things to bring him, me, that cannot even say 3 sentences, to celebrate the fact that he made it. It's a bit of a funny one. I think there will be very funny activities. He doesn't know about it, so it's also going to be a surprise. So it's fun, but I'm losing the Kites Festival and Tempelhoferfeld for another year. Please go there for me. Please send me photos. It's a festival where giant, huge, colorful kites go on the sky. I'm talking about dragons, about octopuses, about all sorts of colorful displays and really big stuff flying over Tempelhoferfeld. So it's amazing to go and check it out, chill in the grass, look at things fly. It's nice if you have family friendly. I mean, I think the kids will go bananas. They will think the aliens are coming, the drones and the comet combined on the skies of Berlin. But it's great, it's fun, it's photogenic if you want to. If you never take photos and you're like, I never have nice photos, that will look like a real photo shoot and a rare chance to see the skies alive with kites. So this is it. As a last thing, they will start here in Berlin a 3-year trial to deliver groceries and medicines by drones in Tempelhof-Schöneberg. And this is somehow a focus on sustainability and urban innovation. I'm really not excited to have any drones around me, commercial or not. When it's time for the flying cars, please sign me up. But this has been today. I hope you don't have any accidents with crazy Bolt or Uber drivers. No drones up your skies. No sugar crashes for yourselves. Whether we use Discord to appoint the next minister or an AI to put just like Albania, one thing is for sure, the robots are not yet ready to make Greece win the Eurobasket, but none of this might have any meaning because a giant comet that doesn't look like a comet is coming towards us. Keep protesting for what is right. Book your calendars for next weekend for the Kite Festival and share the photos with me because this is my curse, this is my destiny to never see it live. This has been it. Thank you very much. If you like this podcast, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and all of that. I will see you next week. And until then, ciao!